We went to Knoebels Amusement Park in Elysburg, Pennsylvania. Here's our thoughts. Welcome everyone. I'm Jason, and here at Funtime Films we do videos about products we buy and places that we go. So hit the subscribe button if you want to see more from us in your feed, and if you want to be notified about videos that we post, go ahead and hit that little bell icon as well. Now that that's out of the way, let's get back to Knoebels. In case you're thinking, isn't the K silent like knife? Well, no, it's actually Knoebels because it's owned by the Knoebel family. So I'm going to start off by saying that Knoebels is pretty awesome. They're not sponsoring this video or paying us to say that or anything. We just love the place, and for good reason. Now, you may be wondering what makes the park so good considering it's located in the middle of nowhere. But what makes Knoebels really special is that it's America's largest free admission park. Not only that, but they also offer free parking and free live entertainment. The parking lot is huge, but it's not entirely paved, so if it's rained recently, you might have to deal with some mud. But there are trams, so you won't have to walk the whole way to the park if you park pretty far away. Now I know what you're saying. It's free? Well, not entirely. If you want to ride any rides, you'll still have to buy tickets, much like you would at a fun fair or carnival. You can also purchase a wristband that allows you to go on all the rides as many times as you want throughout the day. These come in two flavors, one with roller coasters and one without. There are also bargain tickets and sales that you can find on their website, so be sure to check it out after the video. I'll leave links in the description. Now you might be wondering what makes it so great if you still have to pay for the rides. Well, it's great for families that want to have a day out together. People of all ages can go along and not have to worry about spending a fortune or feel like they're wasting money by going along if they don't ride any rides. And Knoebels makes getting together with family and friends even cheaper thanks to their decent-sized picnic area. You can take food and drink into the park, making it an even better value. I've even seen people bring in slow cookers and portable grills, but usually we just bring in some sandwiches, snacks, and drinks. You can leave your food in an ice chest in the picnic area when you first arrive to save yourself a spot, but keep in mind that anything you leave there is your responsibility and Knoebels won't be held liable, and I certainly wouldn't leave anything of value there. There are also pavilions you can reserve for parties or functions, and Knoebels even offers a catering service. We didn't buy much food when we were there due to the fact that we had sandwiches and snacks, but we did try a few things and they were nice. One of which was bacon on a stick. Let me repeat that. That's bacon on a stick. Those of you that know me know that bacon is like family to me. Yummy, tasty family. Okay, that was a little weird, but if you're a bacon lover, you know what I'm talking about. Another thing we tried was this pina colada flavored slushie. That was pretty good as well. But they had these alligator bites that I wanted to try, and we didn't have a chance to try them before we left. You can find them at the International Food Court. If you've had them, let us know what you thought in the comments below, because I want to know what these things are like. As for the rides themselves, there's a well-balanced selection of rides for both kids and adults, but don't go expecting something along the lines of Hershey Park or Cedar Point. At last count, there was 63 rides in total, which is not exactly a small park, but it's not huge. The few times I've been there, the crowds have been pretty good, and at times I've been able to get off of the roller coaster and get straight back on. The Pioneer train takes you along the edge of the park and into the woods, where you can sometimes see local wildlife such as deer, which is nice. And they actually have feeders in the woods for that very reason. My favorite ride there is the Phoenix. It's a wooden coaster, and it has some of the best airtime of any coaster I've ever been on. Definitely don't miss this one, folks. It's not like a crazy thrill ride, but big thrills don't always equal big fun. For the thrill seekers, there's a small steel coaster called Impulse. It did have the longest line of any ride in the park, but it was certainly worth the wait. The lift hill takes you straight up, and the drop is also straight down. After that, there's a few inversions, so you could say it's the most intense ride at Knoebels, but it's not the only thrill ride. There's one called Satellite with a rocket-shaped car at either end of an arm that spins 360 degrees. But as you go around, the car spins as well, so you don't actually ever go upside down. But Flying Turns is probably the most unique coaster I've ever been on. It's the world's only wooden bobsled coaster, which means it rolls down a curved half-pipe with no rails. Now, if you're worried how safe a coaster like this could be, just know that they spent 7 years building and testing this thing before it finally opened. The trains consist of 3 cars that each hold 1 to 2 riders, and there's actually a weight limit of 400 pounds to keep the trains at a safe speed. If you want a good view of the park, there's actually a few options. The giant wheel goes up 110 feet for a decent view, but there's better views of the park. The Stratosphere is a thrill ride that takes you up nearly 150 feet in the air, where you can see the whole park. It then drops you into a free fall to the ground. But the best view comes from the Scenic Skyway. It's a 14-minute ski lift to the top of a mountain and back. It can be a bit nerve-wracking if you're afraid of heights, as it does take you to an elevation of 360 feet above the park.
I'm scared. I'm scared.
You're scared?
Mum, if you never see me again.
But honestly, you're never more than a few dozen feet above the side of a mountain. It's definitely worth it for the amazing view. If you plan to take a camera on any of the rides, be aware that, like most parks, Knoebels have restrictions, and you can find that information on the website under the park policies. But basically, the camera needs to be inside a case and secured by a 3-point body harness. You also need permission from a ride operations supervisor, which includes signing a waiver. That being said, they didn't say anything when I used my mirrorless camera on the train and the Scenic Skyway, though I'm not sure if those rides are considered exceptions or if the ride operators just didn't bother to stop me. If you do want to film on rides, I would recommend a GoPro, as they have all the accessories you need to follow park policy. So in summary, the park is well worth a visit. There's tons of pros. You have free admission, free parking, free entertainment. You got the picnic area where you can bring your own food. The park's food is excellent. You can get some great views of the park and surrounding areas. It's family friendly, and they have good and unique rides to boot, which you'll be able to ride multiple times due to the park having manageable crowds. The cons? Well, the parking lot and some of the areas inside the park are unpaved and instead filled with gravel, so you might want to avoid open-toed footwear. The all-day ride passes do not include the Haunted Mansion and the Crystal Pool, which are additional fees. And finally, due to its location, the park has a tendency to flood during large storms. This doesn't happen too often. In fact, the most recent was in 2011. But the park does have to close down for a few days for repairs, so this can throw a wrench into your plans. But honestly, this one shouldn't prevent you from visiting because of the infrequency of such events. It's just as likely a hurricane could shut down Walt Disney World. I'm going to wrap things up here, but what I want to know from you is, what did you like most about Knoebels? Or if you haven't been there yet, what are you looking forward to the most? Leave your answers down below in the comments. Go ahead and hit that like button if you found this video helpful, and subscribe if you want to see more from us here at Funtime Films.